Important note: this is timeless and powerful wisdom that has influenced and improved the life of millions. Now that you have attracted it to your awareness, you must install it deep into your subconscious mind to experience a real change. Read the description below this video and choose the links among multiple options that will aid you in achieving the optimum results you seek. The journey to success is just one decision away. Thank you for listening and subscribing to Top Mindset Growth Channel.
Rewire your brain, open your third eye for wealth, or stay broke forever. There comes a moment in every life where the veil is thin, so thin you can almost see through it. A flicker, a ripple in the illusion. That's the moment the universe leans in, whispering a question so ancient, so primal. It echoes through the corridors of your mind. Are you awake, or are you merely existing? Most people wander through life asleep, with their eyes wide open and their minds shut tight, numb to their own power, deaf to their potential, blinded by the fog of distraction, debt, and doubt. They hunger for success while feeding their subconscious with fear. They crave freedom while clinging to chains forged by ignorance. But not you. You didn't come here for comfort. You came here to wake up, to open your mind, to activate the eye that sees what others cannot, to rewire your brain, or remain forever enslaved by a poverty mindset. Let me be clear, this is not about money alone. This is about vision, power, legacy. This is about opening the gateway between thought and manifestation. The third eye, the seat of intuition, perception, imagination, and infinite riches. The pineal gland, that mysterious crystal within your brain, a transmitter, a receiver, the hidden temple of wealth consciousness. And it has been calcified, corrupted, numbed by years of programming. Society doesn't want you to activate it. The system thrives on your blindness. They tell you wealth is reserved for the chosen few. They lie. They whisper that you must struggle for decades. They lie. They say you must sacrifice your soul to get rich. They lie again. Here is the truth the rich know and the masses ignore. Wealth is a frequency. You either align with it or you don't. It doesn't care about your degrees, your job title, your family name, or your past mistakes. It responds to energy. Belief, vision, vibration. You are not poor because of your bank account. You are poor because your mind has been programmed for scarcity. You are poor because your third eye has been shut by fear, by ridicule, by distraction. The good news, that can change. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. All transformation begins with a decision. The decision to take control of your inner world, to become the architect of your thoughts, the master of your emotions, the commander of your vision. This is not theory. This is the ancient truth that built empires. Tesla knew it. Edison practiced it. Carnegie lived it. It is written. And you, right now, are being called to awaken it. Because once your third eye opens, once your mind is rewired for wealth, everything changes. But first, let me tell you a secret. You were not born to be average. You were not sent here to struggle endlessly, working like a mule, earning just enough to survive, silencing your dreams to pay bills that never stop coming. No. You are a creator, a divine spark wrapped in flesh, endowed with the power to think, imagine, believe, and materialize. Your mind is a magnet. Your thoughts are seeds. And your third eye is the sun that gives those seeds life. But here's the danger. That same power can destroy you. The subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts whatever you repeatedly feed it. So if you constantly affirm your limitations, if you focus on lack, if you rehearse failure in your imagination, guess what? You create exactly that. You don't get what you want. You get what you are aligned with. Your vibration is the code. Your beliefs are the blueprint. And most people are stuck on a broken loop, running mental software they didn't choose, installed by society, religion, media, and well-meaning people who never escape the matrix themselves. But you are not most people. You're here. You feel it. That burning, that pull, that undeniable knowing that you were meant for more. And that knowing is the call to activate your inner vision, to open the third eye and see beyond appearances. You think Andrew Carnegie became the wealthiest man of his time by accident? No. He trained his mind like a warrior. He visualized with precision. He expected success with such clarity that failure had no place to enter. You think Walt Disney created an empire because he got lucky? No. He saw worlds in his imagination that no one else could see. While others doubted, he believed. While others laughed, he created. His third eye was wide open, and that vision became reality. And you're no different. The same power lives in you, but it must be awakened, stirred, commanded, and that starts with rewiring your brain, tearing out the weeds of limitation and planting seeds of greatness. Affirm this truth. I am the master of my mind. I am the commander of my wealth. I see clearly. I attract freely. I create endlessly. Say it until the neurons fire differently. Say it until the subconscious bends in your favor. Say it until the universe has no choice but to respond, because here's what they won't teach you in school. The third eye is not just spiritual, it is neurological. It is electrical. It is the gateway to neuroplasticity, the brain's divine ability to reshape itself. When you meditate, when you visualize, when you speak affirmations with feeling, when you feel gratitude in advance, you're literally restructuring your brain. You're creating new grooves, new patterns, new roads toward success. And when those neural roads become highways, wealth finds you. Not because of magic, but because you become magnetic. Understand this. You don't chase money. You attract it. Money is not the goal. Alignment is. And alignment comes from clarity, from purpose, from belief so strong it moves mountains. Do you want to know why most people stay broke forever? Because they keep their eye on the bills instead of the vision. They pray for miracles, but never upgrade their frequency. They beg for more while radiating lack. They speak of abundance, but think in fear. They don't realize their mind is the factory and their thoughts are the workers. If your factory is producing poverty, it's not the world that's broken, it's your blueprint. But that blueprint can be changed right now, today. Close your eyes and see what others refuse to. Visualize not just the money, but what that money does. Freedom, impact, growth, generosity, legacy. That's the true purpose of wealth. Not just cars and houses, but the ability to design your life, to serve others at the highest level, to rise beyond survival and sculpt a destiny so bold the world must take notice. And all of that begins with a mind fully awakened, with a third eye wide open, with a spirit that refuses to shrink ever again. There is no external force more powerful than the mind of a human being who has awakened to his own divinity. Not government, not economy, not inflation, not recession. Because once your inner world is aligned with wealth, the outer world bends in submission. Let that settle into your bones. Reality bends to the will of a focused, disciplined, and awakened mind. And that's the terrifying truth they don't want you to discover. Because the moment you realize you are the cause and not the effect of your circumstances, you break the spell. You unplug from the system. You take back the pen and begin writing your own story. Not the one handed to you by mediocrity, but the one authored by power. So how do you rewire your mind for wealth? It begins with imagination, the most divine faculty ever gifted to man. You must understand this. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Not maybe, Not someday, it can achieve. The reason most never achieve is because they never truly believe. Belief is not weak hope. It is unwavering certainty in the face of contradiction. It is holding the image of your desired future in your mind with such intensity, such obsession, that it becomes more real than the conditions around you. Tesla did this. He said he saw his inventions fully formed in his mind before he ever touched a piece of metal. He didn't think them into existence, he saw them. He walked inside them with his mind's eye. He brought them down from the ether. That is the power of an awakened third eye. It's not superstition, it's creation. Wealth is first born in the unseen. The blueprint exists in your mind long before it shows up in your hands. So the first commandment of the wealthy, guard your imagination like it's sacred ground, because it is. You must ruthlessly eliminate anything that pollutes it. News designed to feed fear, people addicted to complaining, environments soaked in mediocrity. You must build an inner sanctuary so rich, so focused, so radiant, that even the universe pauses in awe. And in that sacred space, you see your future. Not wish for it, not hope for it. You see it in full color, with clarity, with emotional intensity. You feel the weight of the wealth in your palm. You smell the success. You taste the victory. You do this every day, morning and night, until your subconscious can no longer tell the difference between dream and reality. Because here's the secret. Once the subconscious accepts a belief, it goes to war for it. It rewires the nervous system. It alters your perception. It scans the environment for evidence. It attracts opportunities that match the internal image. And that, my friend, is how destiny is shaped. Not by chance, but by neural command. The second key is emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. It's the fuel that powers the vision. Affirmations without emotion are empty noise. Visualization without emotion is just a fantasy. You must feel your future with intensity so real, it makes your heart race. Why? Because the subconscious responds to emotion more than logic. That's why trauma gets stored. That's why passion breaks barriers. Your emotional state is the access code to your deeper mind. So when you declare, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am aligned with riches, don't whisper it, roar it. Declare it from your soul. Feel it like it's already here. Feel it until your skin tingles with power. And if your current circumstances scream the opposite, good. That's the test. The greats didn't wait until life looked perfect to believe. They believed when all evidence said otherwise. Lincoln believed in unity when the nation was tearing itself apart. Ford believed in a motor car for the masses when horses ruled the roads. Earl Nightingale believed in the strangest secret, that we become what we think about, when the world mocked personal development. They didn't bend to circumstance, they bent reality. And you are called to do the same. Let the world laugh. Let the doubters sneer. Let the bank account echo with emptiness. None of it matters, because the wealth you're building isn't just financial, it's foundational. You're building the mental software that will serve you for a lifetime. You're carving new grooves into your brain. You're flipping the switch from fear to faith, from scarcity to abundance, from blindness to sight. And here's where the alchemy deepens. When your third eye is activated and your mind is rewired, you begin to see opportunities that were always there, but invisible to the untrained mind. You walk into a room and connections spark. You speak with power and people listen. You invest in yourself and the returns multiply. You don't beg for success, you command it. Because you're no longer seeking riches from a place of lack, you're radiating from a place of wholeness. This is not about ego. This is not about greed. This is about fulfilling the purpose you were sent here to fulfill. You can't inspire the world from survival mode. You can't uplift others while drowning in lack. You can't build legacy with a scarcity mindset. You must rise. Not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, energetically, because when you rise, you lift others. When you thrive, you prove it's possible. When you open your third eye, you become a lighthouse for those still trapped in darkness. But make no mistake, this path requires discipline, not the kind taught in schools, the kind forged in the furnace of decision, the discipline to guard your thoughts like treasure, to reject mediocrity with violence, to meditate when others distract, to invest in learning when others entertain, to act boldly when fear whispers, wait. Discipline is the bridge between vision and manifestation. It's what takes the image in your third eye and chisels it into physical form. So don't just wish for wealth, train for it. Study it. Command it. Live it. Become it. Because if you don't, you'll stay broke forever, not just in your wallet, but in your soul. And that, my friend, is the real poverty. The greatest tragedy of modern life is not hunger, not sickness, not even death. It is a man or woman who lives their entire existence with closed eyes and an open wound where their purpose should have been. To walk this earth without ever tapping into the infinite vault of wealth locked inside your own mind, that is the true poverty. Not empty pockets, but an unawakened spirit. The system wants you tame. They want you compliant. They want you sedated by fear-based news, instant gratification, paralyzed by self-doubt, and addicted to problems that can only be solved by the very things they sell you. But there's one thing they fear, a human being who has activated their third eye, a person who no longer sees through the lens of limitation, a soul who no longer reacts, but creates. Because that kind of individual is unstoppable. They don't ask for permission. They don't beg for scraps. They walk with authority because they know that the same force that created galaxies lives within their brain, their breath, their vision. And when that third eye awakens, you begin to operate in a different dimension. You don't just work hard. You work aligned. You don't chase wealth. You magnetize it. You don't settle for safety. You command expansion. You walk into every room like you already belong because you do. You no longer measure yourself by income, but by impact. And impact begins the moment you stop playing small and start living like a person on fire with purpose. But purpose doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows itself to the disciplined, to the one who rises early not because it's trendy, but because their vision won't let them sleep, to the one who studies while others binge, who plans while others party, who invests in their mind like it's sacred territory because it is. You want wealth? Master your mind. You want abundance. Open your third eye and dare to see more. Not with your physical eyes. They deceive. But with your inner sight, the vision that knows who you truly are beneath the noise, beneath the trauma, beneath the layers of false identity the world forced onto you. That is your wealth. Not in the future. Not someday. Right now. You are the gold. You are the treasure. You are the source. And every great master knew this. Wallace D. Wattles said, "Success in life is becoming what you want to be." That's not a slogan. That's a universal law. But how do you become what you want to be? You reprogram the internal dialogue. You tear out the weeds of self-hate, shame, and limitation. You stop saying, "I can't," and start declaring, "I already am." I already am wealthy. I already am connected. I already am the embodiment of success. Why? Because the subconscious obeys identity. If you keep affirming the old version of yourself, the broke version, the scared version, the doubting version. It will keep producing the same exact results. But the moment you declare a new identity with certainty, the world begins to shift. Circumstances reorganize. Ideas flood your mind. People appear. Opportunities align. Not by chance, but by law. The law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of subconscious magnetism. You are a walking broadcast tower. Your thoughts are frequencies. Your emotions are signals. And your third eye? That is the tuner. If it is clogged, blocked, calcified, you will stay stuck in static, confused, lost, broke. But once it's opened, your entire system gets upgraded. You start seeing truth buried inside the chaos. You feel things before they happen. You trust your gut, not out of fear, but out of divine intelligence. That is wealth. To walk through the world with inner certainty. To move from intuition instead of insecurity. To look at your bank account and know that it is temporary, but your belief is permanent. Because when the mind is aligned, the money follows. Wealth is not a destination, it's a decision. A daily commitment to tune yourself into higher frequencies. So how do you do it? You sit in silence every day, even if only for 5 minutes. You close your eyes and breathe. You visualize your future self with such richness, you forget the limits of the present. You write down your affirmations, not once, but relentlessly. You speak them aloud with power until your voice shakes the walls of doubt. You fill your mind with wisdom. You reject toxic energy like poison. And above all, you act. Because the third eye is not just for vision, it's for activation. A vision without action is a hallucination. You must do what poor-minded people refuse to. Get uncomfortable, take risks, fail forward. Say no to comfort and yes to your calling. Look, no one is coming to save you. Not the government, not the lottery, not a perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only this one, right now, the moment you decide. You can choose to stay trapped in fear, hoping wealth will someday knock on your door. Or you can rewire your brain, open your third eye, and become the kind of person wealth chases. Because that person already lives inside you, buried beneath years of doubt, crushed by societal programming, starved by your own refusal to claim your power, but not anymore. This is the moment your old identity dies. The moment the illusions fall away, the moment you stop waiting for wealth and start becoming it. You were never meant to crawl. You were born with wings. But the world taught you to walk, to lower your head, to fit in, to follow rules written by men who forgot how to dream. But today, that ends. Because the truth is rising in you now. The truth you always knew, even as a child before the world buried it. You are powerful. You are limitless. You are connected to something greater than all your fears combined. And that greatness, it lives behind your eyes. It speaks through your spirit. It pulses in the silence between your thoughts. Your third eye is not some mystical fantasy. It is your divine inheritance. A doorway, a gateway, a throne waiting for its rightful king, its rightful queen. And wealth? Wealth is not the goal. It is the consequence. It is the natural result of alignment, clarity, discipline, and purpose. Open that eye, and you no longer see money as paper. You see it as energy, your energy, returning to you in equal measure for the value you create, the vision you hold, the belief you never let go of. Because what you believe, you become. Look at the giants who came before us. Joseph Murphy didn't just write about the subconscious, he lived it. He healed people with words. He reshaped futures with thought. He proved that your reality is never set in stone. It is carved by belief. Charles F. Hannell called it the master key, and he was right. Your brain rewired, your eye opened, your mind disciplined. That is the true master key to riches. Not luck, not chance, not even hard work alone. It is inner command, because the man who controls his thoughts controls the universe that responds to him. And once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You'll never again blame the economy. You'll never again shrink to make others comfortable. You'll never again settle for survival when you were born for so much more. The world may try to pull you back. They may call you crazy, unrealistic, too intense. Good. That's how you know you're getting close. The dreamers always get mocked right before they get followed. The builders always get doubted right before they become legends. You think Carnegie had approval? He had vision. You think Edison had comfort? He had obsession. You think Mandino, Nightingale, and Wattles waited for someone to validate them? No. They declared, "This is who I am." And the universe said, "As you wish." So I ask you now, who are you? Not what do you do? Not what have you earned? Not what's in your bank account. Who are you? Are you a prisoner of the past or the architect of the future? Are you a victim of circumstance or the commander of your reality? Because you can't be both. You cannot worship comfort and expect greatness. You cannot dwell in fear and radiate wealth. You cannot serve two masters, poverty and prosperity, and expect peace. So choose right now this breath, this heartbeat, because your future is not waiting, it's watching. It's watching who you choose to become in this moment. It's watching whether you'll continue the generational cycle of lack or break it forever. And if you do, if you choose power over pity, if you choose vision over validation, if you choose truth over tradition, if you choose to open your third eye and rewire your mind for wealth, then watch what happens. Watch how fast life changes when you change your frequency. Watch how people, money, ideas, and miracles flow to the one who finally aligns. Watch how your very presence begins to shift rooms, because you're no longer chasing the dream. You are the dream. You're no longer hoping for riches. You are the source of riches. You're no longer waiting for a sign. You are the sign. Let the doubters fade. Let the past die. Let the old you rot in the shadows of mediocrity. You have a new identity now, a new mind, a new vision, a new fire. And from this day forward, every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take is rich, aligned, awakened, because you've opened your third eye. You've activated the blueprint. You've stepped into your divine inheritance. So walk boldly, speak with power, live with vision, and let the world adjust, because you're no longer asking for wealth. You've become it forever. You must keep in mind the following. Repetition is the sculptor of your destiny. You will not become what you visualize once. You will become what you visualize consistently, daily, obsessively, until your brain starts adjusting your behaviors, your standards, your environment to match that inner self-image. That's not magic. That's biology. So listen this lesson again and again and again until it gets installed in your brain and in your subconscious mind, until you realize the results you seek.